What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and in this video we are going to take a look at a sweet Celestial Tiger game that I played recently. And Celestial Tiger is one of my favorite heroes. There's just so much fun stuff you can do with the doubled tier 2 and tier 3 treasures, and I think this game is going to be a pretty fun one. We're going to start off by picking up a Black Cat and then locking onto a Madmim just to have a strong board for turn 2, try to preserve our health total, and the more that we can do that, the more that we can roll for those sweet treasures and triples and try to get an early lead like that. So pick up the Madmim, then I'll go for the Genie's Wish, and I think we're actually decent odds to win a For Glory here. If the Black Cat can trade with two of my opponent's units, unfortunately it's not going to be able to, though, as my opponent has a Frog Prince. So that is going to be another defeat, unfortunately, and we're not going to get that For Glory. But this turn, we do get to pick up some pretty strong units here and increase the power of our board by a considerable amount. Again, we'll pick up a Sherwood Sure Shot and a Frog Prince, and then a free roll. And we could decide to lock on to the Madmim just because it is a pair. I don't believe that I decide to do so. I think I'm going to try to work on triples of tier 3 units and start to pick up some tier 3 stuff. It's really tough to justify locking on this turn when you could roll into like Brave Princess or really a lot of other sweet stuff in the next turn. This battle against Geppetto is going to be very easy. We're going to crush them here and walk into this turn, and we do find a pair of tier 3 units, the White Stag. We also find a pair of tier 2 units with the Golden Chickens, so that's kind of tempting as well. But I think what we are going to wind up doing is just picking up both of these stags and backlining this Sherwood Sure Shot, and then using the Forbidden Fruit to purchase both of these stags. So this gives us the start to a tier 3 treasure. That's kind of the idea here. We could lock onto the chickens, but I don't think that we need to. I think it's just better to roll for tier 3 stuff while we are on tier 3 now. And this turn is looking pretty good for us already, and does look like we are going to get away with a win and denying my opponent these Polywoggle Slays too, which is nice. Just decrease their power. We find that Brave Princess on 3.1, and I do think that it is probably still early enough to pick up the Princess. I'm also going to go for a Mix-a-Whizzle on the Sherwood Sure Shot, just because it's the unit that I care about the least on this board, and maybe in some crazy twist of fate it rolls onto a Stag, and that would obviously just be really awesome. It would give us the triple there, so I felt like it was worth looking for the 1 gold. And now we'll have an Ogre Princess this turn, so maybe that'll help to give us additional econ or what have you. We could have also picked up the Lucky potentially had we not played exactly like this, but there's not really great positioning for the Lucky on this board regardless, so I think that this is good, all things considered. We're only going to get one of our stags to attack, so that is a little bit unfortunate, but we will get our Brave Princess to attack multiple times actually, and we could even have had the Brave Princess run the full gambit had it attacked the Baby Root. Cindy attacks the Madmim, and then Brave Princess finishes off the Cindy. That would have been really sweet. Just complete the Brave Princess in one full sweep. But I am not going to be too upset with the fact that we get 2 Slay triggers with our first turn. I'm kind of into the Mummy. The Mummy does seem powerful. And then I am also somewhat interested in the Sherwood Sure Shot pair and somewhat interested in the Wormroot. But because we are on 3.2, I'm just going to roll. And I believe I'm even going to use some of these chickens to roll, because right now is the best possible chance that we have of rolling into additional stags. So that's kind of the idea here. I believe that I'm going to, maybe it's another game that I do that. Okay, looks like I'm just sitting here now. Let me jump ahead. Okay, I wind up not rolling, so apologies for that. I'm getting confused. Like I said, I got a bunch of sweet Celestial Tiger games in the works too, so kind of melding them together in my mind a little bit. But I think that that's a reasonable play too. Just save the econ and save the world here. But we'll see how we are able to do. My opponent with some dragons taking out our backline is unfortunate and does mean we are going to lose this game. So that will be a little bit awkward. We'll wind up taking 7 damage here, down to 25. But if you've heard me talk about Celestial Tiger before, 17 health is right around where I generally stabilize, or in most cases find that tier 7 treasure that allows us to stabilize. And from there, can start to turn some things around and win the lobby. We're definitely going to pick up this pair of prized pigs, and then we will roll again. If we were only Wonder Waddle Celestial Tiger, we'd be doing really good here. We'd have a bunch of tier 3 treasures, but luckily there is no Wonder Waddle in the lobby. There's only a Geppetto, a Piepiper. So there is a Geppetto too, but that means that we don't have too much competition to worry about in terms of like other people looking for these animals. And now I'm just considering like, what other combinations could I play around with? Are we strong enough to actually play these prized pigs? And I decide no. I think that it's too risky, especially up against an almost undefeated Sharebear that maybe lost like the first combat of the game and then hasn't lost since. So let's just try to play the strongest board, focus on getting this Brave Princess Slay in and getting a tier 3 treasure doubled up from that. So we are going to get our first stag attack, not our second, but as long as this mummy dodges the Brave Princess, nice. We are looking pretty good here. Brave Princess is going to get a slay. My opponent does have a Cat's Call though, so that is a little bit unfortunate because that means that they are going to have quite the cat army here. We're going to get another slay with Brave Princess, but the important thing here, down to 18, that's a good number, and there we find the treasure map. So right on time, 18 health, somewhere typically 17 to 19 health is when I generally find on Celestial Tiger that I am popping off. So really at this point just rolling for prized pig and stag, and that's about it. Maybe I could consider mummy, especially if there's like a pair of mummies or something. I kind of like this Mix-a-Wizzle as well, just because we already have upgraded the Brave Princess, and that could get us something nice. Now we are potentially also rolling for True Love's Kiss this turn, and we will be able to make use of that. And we do find a True Love's Kiss, so unfortunately we are not going to find anything to use this treasure map on, but we can sell 2 of our units True Love's Kiss, and that gives us quite a powerful unit here. We now have both of the stags supporting the wombats in disguise, and then we have the Mad Mim supporting both of the mummies. So kind of a silly, kind of symmetrical board here that is reasonably powerful, reasonably synergistic, and hopefully we can just pick up a triple of one of our 3 pairs next turn and find that tier 7 treasure, because it's going to give us a tier 3 treasure plus a treasure map plus a doubled treasure map. So it'll give us a total of a tier 7 treasure is the idea. We are going to get our first stag attack. Will we get the second one? Not quite, but we've got those wombats in disguise that inside are going to have a pretty big minion for us. It's going to get plus 22, plus 22. So it gives us a 26 chicken. Hopefully that is enough. My opponent does have this ranged unit, and it is going to be enough to get the tie. So that's pretty nice. Let's find a treasure map for ourselves. We could take the end. That would give us a little bit of health, but it would also level us up into tier 5, which is awkward because that's going to dilute the pool in terms of allowing us to find this pair. So I'm just going to roll. We'll find the prized pig pickup, and then our options are Holy Grail, probably a little bit too early, Fairy Queen's Wand, probably a little bit too unexciting, and Magic Sword, of course. Now, I really do love Magic Sword on Celestial Tiger. I've thought that it's pretty good for a while, and typically I would do this and then just roll and pick up Tweedle. Now we've got 2 options because we've got 0 options right now on level 4, so it makes it a little bit more tricky. We also could put a Polywoggle in the Magic Sword slot. That is also pretty cute, but the big thing here is now that we have Burning Tree as well, or now that we had Burning Tree on the whole last patch, trying to Rush Magic Sword on Celestial Tiger is just so much more viable. And you can even rush into Round Table, which is obviously a really good premier endgame treasure, but Round Table is immediately going to make any burning trees that you find into 2040s just by itself. Round Table just by itself makes burning tree into a 2040. So pretty good stuff. Next turn, the idea, interesting that we find a golden chicken again. I'm pretty sure something with all of those units is bugged, but now that we have found the magic sword, basically next turn we can roll and try to find Tweedledee, or we can try to find Burning Tree. Unfortunately, we are going to take a little bit of damage here, down to 7, but now we are on level 5, and we'll be able to immediately make use of this magic sword with the Burning Tree. So that's kind of the whole idea here behind rushing tier 7s on Celestial Tiger, is you can actually get back in the game really quickly with Burning Tree. And we have the option to pick up both a Heartwood Elder here, and then also pick up a Creeper. And Creeper is really good when you already have a Burning Tree that is at 120 health, because we are going to be able to have this Burning Tree survive and just continue to grow it. We could sell both of these mummies to pick up a Shrivel here, but I think that we could potentially use them to get a treasure later on. Apologies also if you hear Woodrow running around in the background. He is making some noise over there, but you might not. Actually, you probably can't hear him over the music now, but it shouldn't bother you anyways, because he's adorable. So here we are going to see the Burning Tree in action, and this is just great because it's just growing for us this entire combat, and yeah, really sweet. I put normally I don't put summon units in that 4th position, but I deliberately put that Wombat in the 4th position because the existence of the Wombat is going to stop the Creeper from attacking, and it's going to stop the Prized Pig from attacking. It's going to delay both of those things, and delays them, excuse me, just enough. We are able to get the Prized Pig gold from this turn as well, so pretty sweet stuff. I am eyeing up the Nutcracker, but I think that we can do better. We can potentially buy XP at this point because we are so ahead, and we can also look for more Burning Trees and Heartwood Elders. So all of this goes pretty fantastic throughout the course of this turn. I'll pick up this Heartwood Elder. Now I have to decide what I want to the end. And honestly, we're going to have to break up a pair, or we're going to have to, I guess we could the end the pig because we're not currently playing the pig, or we the end one of our pairs. But I think I'll just go for the pig and hang on to both of my pairs here. The stag isn't super exciting, but neither is the pig in the backline, and I think that I want to backline this Creeper so that it can protect the other things. And then I'm actually going to break up my stag pair. Oh, excuse me. Is my camera great? Okay, good. I'm going to break up the stag pair because I want to preserve as much gold as possible going into 6.0. We see that this Piepiper is going to be a competitor for us or against us in trying to assemble some trees, so we'll have to try to get to some of those first. And the Burning Tree, again, just continually gaining stats here thanks to the Darkwood Creeper, combined with the Magic Sword, giving it a nice amount of toughness so that it can survive these things. We're going to pick up the Heartwood Elder, and Gloves of Thieving is something that I've really come around to recently. So basically, in almost all of these endgame scenarios, I'm forcing trees, the other people that are trying to win the lobbies are also forcing trees, and you can steal trees with these gloves. So I think that Gloves of Thieving wind up being really good right now. I will True Love's Kiss that pumpkin that was initially a Brave Princess. We've sent that all the way up the chain, and that's going to give us a pumpkin. I'll True Love's Kiss the Wombat is what I meant to say, and then we'll roll into and lock onto an Ashwood. We could sell a whole bunch of stuff right now. We could sell the mummy, the stag, the creeper, and the golden chicken or the pumpkin to pick it up, but I don't think that that is worth it. I don't think that we need it for this combat necessarily. We will be stealing a upgraded Nutcracker from my opponent. Not super exciting, but maybe we'll figure out something to do with it down the line. And I think we will be able to get through this soul tack and then deal with my opponent pretty easily. Looks like oh no, we won't quite. I was thinking, oh yeah, actually we will. We will pop a pumpkin here and we'll hit my opponent for a ton of extra damage right at that last minute of the combat. So we hit the 30 health player for 20. That has got a sting. And now we are going to pick up another Ashwood Elm, or our first Ashwood Elm rather, that we locked. Another tree though. Then I'll pick up another golden chicken. We could maybe do something with that. And I'll put in this Nutcracker because it is indeed a tree. I'm not going to Shard of the Ice Queen it because just being a tree does actually provide some decent stats to the board. And then I'm going to lock on this knighthood. And the plan with this knighthood is probably just to throw it on the Ashwood Elm and get a nice amount more power for the board. Then we'll see if we can try to potentially find some Echo Woods and other stuff like that. Magic Sword isn't really a great treasure for Echo Wood. It's not going to have typically any interaction with Echo Wood unless you put like a summoning unit in your comp in some capacity. But it is just giving us a ton of stats that is giving us the ability to roll right now. So we just have to dodge this opponent's Medusa. This guy also has a bunch of Rotten Applewoods as well. So a little bit scary. And unfortunately, the Medusa is going to take out our Burning Tree, though we also take them out because we've got the 100 sword, and then we are going to wind up dealing some nice damage and taking them out. So there we go. Not too shabby of a battle. And from the Gloves of Thieving, we get a Burning Tree from my opponent. So that is going to give us an upgraded Burning Tree, which now doubles the Magic Sword. It'll also give us a tier 5 treasure, which we can grab an Ambrosia. That's pretty sick as well. Things are definitely turning around here, or not even turning around. Things are just popping off at this point. So I have to decide, excuse me, if I even want to use this knighthood at this point, because we just picked up an Ambrosia. So we could just throw the Elder in the Ambrosia slot, or the Ashwood Elm rather in the Ambrosia slot, and it would already be upgraded. But for right now, I'll just use the Ambrosia on the Darkwood Creeper. It is going to mean that anytime Burning Tree takes damage, it will get +2/+4, and that does still add up. So that can be pretty nice, and we'll move into combat against Evilla with this squad. And they are not going to be able to take us down here. They are going to get a few slays. They've got this Jormungand going on, but Jormungand is no match for all of these trees, and this is going to be a pretty easy win going forward here. That's going to take out Evilla, and then we are potentially on to the finals. I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 more battles left. Let's see. It looks like there are going to be 2 more battles left. The Sharebear still hanging on there with 1 HP. So we'll roll, and basically now we're just looking for an Ashwood, a Burning Tree, or an Echo Wood to throw in this Ambrosia slot. We could also go for a True Love's Kiss, and we can also pick up a Golden Chicken here. We'll grab a doubled up tier 2 treasure. Not sure if there's anything that we really want to take. I should have at least looked still, because there's no harm in looking. We can just skip and then sell the chicken, and it's no harm, no foul. But I am going to decide against it. We could pick up the Hercules, but I decide to roll, and I'm glad that I do, because we roll into an Echo Wood, plus we roll into a pair of Creepers, which is going to allow us to complete that as well. I have to look, but if I sell my entire bench, we can triple up on this Creeper, and then that'll provide us just some additional stats across the combat. It's an upgraded tree, and will also give us a doubled tier 3 treasure, which could potentially be good. We'll see what we can get. Yeah, sure. I have Arries. Everything gets +10 attack. That's going to give my Burning Tree +10, +20, so it's some reasonable stats to add to everything, and it's also going to put some additional stats on this rotten applewood, which isn't a huge deal, but I guess it's somewhat interesting here. Yeah, it's just going to trade in and die, so doesn't really matter. And we're down to just our echo wood here at the end of the combat, and this is really clutch. The echo wood survives with 3 health, so that is actually 1 creeper trigger onto the burning tree, because Darkwood Creeper upgraded gives an upgraded burning tree +2 +4. So because we upgraded that Darkwood Creeper, we actually allowed our Echo Wood to survive. I guess it would have survived with a +1 +2 as well, but still, the fact that we had that Darkwood Creeper in there is actually what allowed us to survive on this one. I'll pick up another burning tree, and then I believe I'll go with this stone skin on Ashwood Elm as the last spell of the game here, basically. Then just doing a little bit more rolling. Do have to decide if we want to put in this pumpkin, but I think we are going to ultimately decide against that. And we could also put this upgraded burning tree. Yeah, I guess we could put in the pumpkin over the creeper, but the creeper just saved our echo wood, so I do feel like I kind of owe it to the creeper a little bit. And then, right, the other decision point is, oh, we could cut the Nutcracker. Okay, I do like that. And that also provides additional incentive to frontlining this burning tree, because that way the pumpkin will, potentially see the burning tree die. So that's kind of the plan. The pumpkin is really good with the doubled up Eye of Arries as well. Could potentially get us some good additional unit. We don't have the Gloves of Thieving anymore, so we're not going to be able to steal that Echo Wood from my opponent, but I think we have stolen enough stuff this game, enough that we are going to be able to get this win onto Sharebear, all thanks to the magic sword on the burning tree as well. That was obviously a huge help. So that is going to be it for me for this one. Hopefully this was a fun video to watch. I really like Celestial Tiger games, and like I said, I got some more in the pipeline, maybe even for tomorrow. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.